Hi, I'm Jessie.
And I'm Natasha.
And together, we host Not Creative, the podcast that flips the script on creativity, bringing together the ones with the ideas and the ones who make it all happen behind the scenes.
In each episode, we dive into the minds of creatives, problem solvers, and the people who prove you don't have to wear the creative label to shape brilliant ideas.
Let's get into it. Welcome to Not Creative, the podcast that flips the script on creativity, looking at the people who shape ideas, whether they're making them or making them happen. And as always, but especially today, we have a really exciting guest with us.
Yes, we do. Hi, Analu.
Hello, guys. Thank you for having me today.
Our pleasure. So a little bit about Analu. Analu has worn many hats in the creative operation world, both agency and client side. And Analu, I think one of the reasons why we are so excited to have you today is because, of course, the premise of our podcast is to look at creativity from a lot of different angles. But because Jess and I are self-proclaimed not creatives, I think we always we always like to hear from kindred spirits and explore the theme of creativity from other people who might be more, like in ops roles or kind of like on the outskirts surrounding creativity.
Yeah, sure. But I think that what you said, I don't agree with that 100%. I think we are all very creative. To be in this industry, to be in the creative industry, we have to be creative. So I consider myself not creative, as you said, but at the same time, I know that I bring a lot of value to the business with my problem-solving skills.
Oh, 100%, 100%. And I agree. I feel like it's been a recurring theme that people are maybe slightly offended by the by the name of our podcast. But I think it's good because Jess and I, we have the horrible tendency of agreeing a lot with each other. So I think it's always good to have some tension and some controversy and people that will be like, yeah.
It's a great starting point because, I love starting with a fight. Let's start with the simplest, but probably not simple at all question. What is creativity to you?
My God, that's huge.
I know.
I think to start off, for me, creative is shapeable. This is something that it's not like, oh, I have or I don't have it. It's something that evolves while you are evolving as a human being. And something we all use in different ways, right? Like it's not, oh, I'm an artist, so I'm creative. And you're not an artist, so you're not creative. So that's I think like what we are taught. To be creative, we need to be creating stuff all the time. And I don't think that's limited only to the artists or designers or creative people inside agencies. I think it's kind of part of the human existence and the essence. Like why you cannot say that a scientist is creative as well. Like, so they are not doing creative stuff, but they are using their creativity to find solutions for problems that will help humanity, but they are not creative. They are scientists. So it's kind of like a blurred line. And I do believe that we all have creativity and we all can improve our creativity. And I learned this with time because before I was like you guys, I started in advertising wanting to be a copywriter. And then with 18 years old, when I saw what was the job, I was like, that's not for me. I'm not creative. And then I put a huge block there and I define myself as not creative. But then I moved to the client facing side. I was in account management for, I think, 16, 17 years before I fully moved to operation side. And the thing that with time I start understanding is that I was helping my creatives to be better creatives. So that does mean that I'm a little bit creative as well. I was bringing the information. I was discussing with them the ideas that we're presenting to the clients. I was guiding them with what I thought with my experience as well to bring the creative idea to a point that the clients would approve it. So why I was part of the creative process, but why I think I'm not creative if I'm part of this process? That's where I start like questioning myself. it's not because I don't paint or I don't know how to use a Photoshop or Illustrator or an After Effects that I cannot be creative. Creativity is fluid, is adaptable, is really part of all of the human beings, and they can, and if they really want, they can improve their creativity. That's my take.
We had similar but quite different start of our careers, because I also started in advertising in Brazil, and I feel like in Brazil there are very well defined boxes,
Yeah.
right? And creative, or the creative department, is, like, is glamorized, is seen like they are the only ones that have value. So it almost feels like everyone around is not as valuable. So you almost feel like you have to compromise to be in another role. And I went into copywriting, and once I was doing a copywriting course, and the teacher actually said, I have a job in resourcing that I thought you could be good at. And I was very offended, because I was like, oh no, but I'm a creative. And it's crazy, isn't it? I love your concept of deconstructing creativity and understanding how everyone can contribute. Because even now, so this week, I actually had a conversation with my comms manager, that she was talking about doing an interview as a creative leader. And I paused for a minute, and I remember talking to her. I was like, but are you sure I am a creative leader? Because I'm not a designer, I'm the business side of this company. And she was like, yeah, but do you understand that you're leading a design studio? So that makes you a creative leader. And I had to pause. It made me think like, oh, right. Yeah, that's true. So yeah, I really like how you're talking about creativity, Analu, and like almost deconstructing the glamorization of creative departments, of or creative roles or functions, and understanding how like everyone who is involved in the process has something to add. Um,
And I think like as well, I think I was 22, 21. I don't remember. It's a long time ago. But I was in a meeting and then I was talking to the creatives after the meeting and I gave them one idea that they said, wow, that's cool. So that means what? That I'm not creative and or I am creative, you know what I mean? So they used my idea, like the information that I gave to them. We could do something like this and this. It was an activation. And then the client approved the idea. So it came from me based on a meeting with the client that I was using. I was leveraging the information to my creative team. So why I'm not creative? Because I was sitting there as an account director. So is the title really important for you to be creative?
Yeah, I think it's really interesting when we find ourselves in these conversations that are almost a dichotomy. And I don't know if it's more of an agency construct that we create these boxes of
Okay.
people where, you're in a creative conversation, we're all contributing to the product, we're all contributing to the output, we're all talking to the clients, we're all playing a really important role. And at the end of the day, the thing we're selling is ultimately a creative product. Oh, that was a moment of real harmony where it really did work, that we did collaborate in those ways. I lean on those incidents as well, where I was like, oh, that was my idea that was in that campaign, or that was my work, my line, my thought that became part of it. Where obviously that's my day job and I'm contributing on a daily basis, but it's not as visible. And I think even your title of being in creative operations, I think is so interesting, because it's like almost like I have this visual in my mind of like, so when my dog comes back from a muddy walk, I have to like wrangle him into a towel. I have to like wrestle him to the ground, to like get like the mud off and stuff like that. And it's almost like the operations is like trying to put like that, like pin down the creativity.
Sometimes, like, I had a very heated conversations and discussions with creatives because sometimes they want to present things to the client that we us as the operations part of it, account management, project management, production, we know that it would be risky, or we need to do a risk assessment. It's about reputation, and they see us as okay, so it's a blocker again, someone that is not allowing me to fly. But with time, you can understand and you can filter what you can take to the client, and depending of the maturity of the creative team that you're working with as well. Because if they are the creatives, that they are the brand guardians basically of that brand, they will understand and they will want to sit and talk about business. Because creativity without talking business in advertising, that's what I'm saying, only that it doesn't make any sense. We are doing something, so we're moving the needle, right? It's not the creativity for the sake of the creativity only. We need to have an objective. If the objective that we want to achieve will jeopardize the reputation of the brand that we're working for and paying us for, we need to all be adults, sit together and understand that that idea we need to be killed. So I understand the way people see us as a blockers, at people only thinking about the money, only thinking about the timings, and they are just like, oh, we just want to have the best output, and then we're thinking about awards, we're thinking about changing the way design and creativity, and we're thinking about cans, and we were thinking about the client's business. And that's the thing, like some agencies, they bring to the table the business talk with creatives. And I think the best creatives I know, and I still have a relationship with them, creatives slash designers as well, they understand about the business. They care about the business. It's not only it's not, oh, this is a great brief. And I heard that before from creatives. Oh, that brief is shit. I was like, but what do you mean? Like, can you use your creativity to make it good? Because you are the creative here. I don't think there's a bad brief. I think you need to understand and ask the right questions to the client on why they're sending that brief. And asking the right questions will make your life much easier and will make the creativity flows much better. But even creatives, they block and they have this kind of filters. This is a great brief. This will bring me awards. This is just something that, oh, I'm above it. That's another thing that we also need to talk. And the operation side, we don't see this. We want to deliver every single part of the business that is needed for our clients. We understand that every point of contact is important for that brand and to finally get to a huge, big idea. So we are building the relationship. We are building the brand relationship with the consumers every single day. And that's the thing, like where creativity comes. And sometimes I don't understand why creatives, they fight against a brief. Oh, we don't have the right information. What do you need? Tell me, help me to help you. And that's where I keep saying we are all creatives because we are all working together to get that creative idea out in the world.
Spot on. And, I think both Jess and I can agree, like we've seen so many times in our careers. But
Those fights.
for me, ultimately, of everything you said, it boils down to culture, doesn't it? The culture that the place has, and the culture is very much built by the people that you have. Because to your point, the mature creatives who also understand business are usually the ones that can do the best jobs, because ultimately is that old like questioning of are you an artist or are you a commercial creative? And if you are commercial creative, you're working towards a brief, you're working to to solve a client's problem, and not understanding the business side of it is very detrimental to actually to being able to do a good job. So I 100% agree with what you're saying. And
I mean, I was going to say one of the things that's so interesting about your perspective is obviously you were drawn to the industry. You said you kind of were compelled to have that journey. I guess part of that origin story is, do you think creativity is a calling? Is it a gift that you're given? Is it a curse? Is it a burden?
I think it could be like all the above.
Yeah.
I think it's a choice if I choose it to engage with it. So I think like if you want to engage with creativity, you can start tomorrow. Same time, I think it's also a calling when it's towards something that it's bigger, like a scientist. We want to change the world. So how I can use my creativity to help the world. So it can be a calling as well. But then at the same time, it can be a gift Because I see a lot of people in advertising that creativity for them is just you say something, they're like already connecting the dots. The brain works differently, and they have all the answers, and they are like really excited to start, and they work all over time without feeling they're working overtime because it's inside them. And I think like it's a curse for people that feel stuck,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because you need to perform, you need to be creative all the time. You were paid to be creative all the time. And then I'm stuck here and I'm feeling the pressure to produce something and it's not coming because you were in that mindset. You're not living your life outside. That's one of the things that operation side that I always tell my people, my teams, like if you're working 12, 14 hours a day and you're not going outside, you're not going to the cinema, you're not going for a run, you're not going to connect with people outside the work, to talk about nothing, to talk about art, to talk about, I don't know, their family, then you can have the most amazing Pinterest board in the world. But then when you're stuck, babes, you're stuck. You need to get outside. You need to see the sky. And that's the problem also with creative people. They feel that they need to be creative 100% of the time. And creativity for me is ups and downs. It's not every day. It's like us. We are not 100% every day. So you cannot expect a creative to perform 100% every day. So I think like can be all of them depending on how you approach creativity.
Your last one really, really struck home for me because one of the things that I like the most about being what we call not creative or like creative adjacent is the lack of pressure. When I was in copywriting, I did feel that pressure. You have to deliver, you have to be brilliant all the time. And
Yeah.
I met someone in an event a couple of weeks ago, and she's client side, and they did like a really, really like striking campaign that just went live. And we were talking about it, and she was saying, well, the challenge now is because there's always expectation of what you're going to do next and how you're going to take to the next level. And that pressure, isn't it? Is like, it's not just about you have to be brilliant every time. You have to constantly be better than you were.
Yeah. And it's fine. You
So
can do that with creativity. You can, but if you are stuck and the only thing like, and I understand, but I hate the saying that you are just good as your next
Mm-hmm.
best work. That's not really that's not who you are. Like you
Yeah.
yeah,
have
it's pretty
history
brutal.
behind it. Like, that's a lot of pressure. And a lot of people, a lot of creatives, they they give up from creativity because they think they're too old to be creative. Or they can't handle the pressure anymore. And this is a shame. And then they go to do something else that it's less creative. Yeah, I think we need to revisit the way we're treating people. We are selling ideas like you're selling rice right now, and that's a huge problem.
I love that. I love that analogy. I think it's correct. It's multifaceted when people are contributing to this very multi-layered nuance output, which don't get me wrong, there's lots of different types of rice, and I'm sure it's very hard to produce, but it is different. It's what
Yes.
you do with the rice. It's the ingredient rather than the finished baked thing. I'm not great at analogies. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, it's just because, like, if you think like you have a process, you know how long will take the rice to be in the supermarket. That's not the
Yeah.
same with creativity, and we still have a deadline we need to deliver.
You're better at analogies. I'm gonna leave analogies with you. Yeah. Um, I have a question that I like to ask people, and you have to forgive this cultural reference because it's a bit goofy, but there's this concept in the book 1984 that was then it turned into a TV show called Room 101. And I love this TV show because it basically was a concept of celebrities would just go on and talk about things they don't like rather than things they do like. Everyone likes to talk about their favorite things and like their inspirations. But when we're talking about creativity, what do you hate? What do you hate? What's the process or the thing or the concept that just really annoys you that you would banish?
What would you put in room 101?
The first one, pitches.
Pitches.
Yes,
Yes, this is our first entry for pitches, and it should have been
yeah,
top of the list.
definitely.
Yes.
The way in 2025, the way that clients and agencies are handling it, I think is very unprofessional. I understand why I'm not against pitches, but I'm against the way they are handled by agency side and client side. The pitch that we're delivering everything, we're delivering a 12 months campaign, and you don't have to pay me anything. We have people working. We have people working weekends. We have people working overtime. We have fathers. We have mothers. We have a lot of people putting a lot of time, and then we have a lot of work that they also have to deliver, the paid work that are paying for their current salaries. And there's all the pressure of so many meetings. We have a strategy tissue session, then we have a creative tissue session, then we have the final pitch. So it's like we have pitches like 2 months, 3 months, and all this resource and all people, again, pressure. There's so much you can do. Like with the feedback we're getting from this 1 hour, sometimes you work for 3 weeks and you have 1 hour to present your work. It's disrespectful. And I feel for my team. Like we just delivered a few pitches, and it's insane. I think like client side, what I'm trying to do would be to be more fair, to understand what the agency can deliver to me, and not put the pressure that all the time, like, oh, so deliver more for the same money, deliver more for the same money. And yeah, that's the only thing that I still think the industry and the big communication groups, they are not doing right because they keep accepting it.
I completely agree. I stand by this. I love this admission. This is a great entry to Room 101. I feel like we have an ethos at the company I'm at where we try to avoid pitches wherever possible, just because the power balance is wrong from the onset. It doesn't mean that we don't compete for work, but we try to avoid those scenarios where we're giving away the work for free. Exactly what you're saying of, having to work late and long and hard on ideas that also they're probably not going to be right because I don't know you. You're not my client. I don't know you. I haven't talked to the right people. I've talked to a guy in procurement and whoever wrote the brief. I haven't actually had exposure to the proper company. Um, and it's such a bonkers way to choose a business partner in any capacity, but
Yes.
especially one that's creative. I firmly believe the best creative ideas come from insight, from knowledge, from intimately knowing the product, the audience, the market, the nuance. And that only comes, I know that's a leap of faith. I know that, companies can get in trouble, for like taking a punt on somebody that
Yes.
has improved that. You have to have some mechanic for choosing a partner. I totally understand that. But saying do the work for free and then I'll decide if the work is good enough, you wouldn't
And that's a
do that.
problem for me.
It's
Like
insane.
it's what you said. If I understand procurement. I understand that you need to have
Yeah,
like 3 codes on the table. I understand all of that. But why make someone uh, kill themselves basically for a month or for 6
yeah,
weeks, and then you have 2 weeks to talk about commercials and numbers? That's all you will care about at the really end, and you know that I'm really sorry, but yes, it's about
yeah,
the numbers, how much you're paying, what's the rate card
yeah,
for each role.
Honestly, like I am so here for for this Room 101 entry because I feel so strongly about this. And through my career, I genuinely truly believe that the best work comes from collaboration.
Yeah.
And this whole idea of give me the work for free and then I'll see if I like it, but it's not even like I'll see if I like it, because I'm actually getting the work for free from 3 or 4 or 5 different people. You wouldn't go to 3 or 4 or 5 doctors and say, oh, depending if I like your diagnosis, I will pay you or not. You wouldn't go to a restaurant and do the same. That's the thing that is the most insane, because there is this expectation of delivering free work with no assurance of anything. If you're approaching me to begin with, it has to have a reason, right? So if I am receiving a brief, it's because you believe that I might be capable of delivering on that
Trial,
brief. So
yes.
it's and I'm also with both of you that I'm not against competing for work. I think it's how you go about it. It's how you go about it. For me, it's much more about, like, describing, here's our approach to your brief. Here's how we think about it. Here's how we would like to work together on it, but not, here are all the answers. Do you want to pay for it now? And I've been through, like, so many different processes, including one I will never forget. I cannot say the name of the client, but they are in automotive, where the marketing lead loved the idea that my agency presented. And then exactly what you said, Analu, it went to procurement, and suddenly nothing mattered anymore. Like, it didn't matter if they loved the work or not. Like, and I think the work was actually awarded based on a bidding war of, like, who would bid lower rates.
So why
And
don't you start there? Hey
there, so
guys,
there,
let's talk
exactly.
numbers. Now here's the brief, and I'm paying you to deliver what I need. I'm buying hours from you to deliver this speech, and then after
Yeah,
that, I'll be investing my money with you. That's fair. I'm not
yeah,
against speeches. I'm against the way we pitch things
100%,
forever.
This is a
100%.
excellent entry to Room 101. Very pleased with this.
Yeah, you got us very passionate.
Yeah.
We all been there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess then to flip it to something positive, because we can rant and rave for hours, because I feel like we're very kindred spirits now. What's the number one thing that not creatives do that you value?
I hate it's not creatives.
Okay.
I know,
Let's say
I got it.
creative adjacent then.
I think like that's the thing. I'm practical. I think like not creative people are more practical. Our brain work with a to-do list, basically. We have all the plans, A, B, C, D, W, like all of them are there. And I think also we're much more flexible because we understand that the people, the creative people we are working with, they fluctuate. So we need always to be with them, understanding the ups and downs. So I think we have this flexibility. I think we're very practical, and the reality check that we need, right? Like it's the day-to-day reality check. No, really. This in 2 weeks, are sure? Let's use our creativity to delivery on time this time, within budget this time. Let's maybe this one for the next time.
We
And I
could
think,
choose on time or on budget. We could pick one of those this time.
and it's fine. Sometimes, like I had instances where I went back to the client saying, "I'm really sorry, but the money that you sent to me, it's ridiculous. We have an amazing idea. Give me more money." We
Mhm.
present the idea, and they were like, "Yes, more money." So you also need, like, we are the non-creative people are the ones reading the room, and that's
Love
very
that.
positive. I think like we are guiding the business.
Do you have
I would say it's like Danny calls it the Natasha effect, but I would say it's like the Analu effect, is the Jessie effect, is the is the not creative effect, isn't it?
yeah. I mean, do you have someone in mind? Do you have a favorite? I'm going to do quotes because obviously everyone's creative. Do you have a favorite not creative?
I think all my favorite not creatives are the females fighting in a very masculine world. I'm sorry, in 2025, with creatives being mainly male, and we need to prove ourselves all the time as well. I think the Analu with 18 years old that start thinking about like advertising, university, and things like that is still fighting the same fight now in 2025. So I started, I don't know, 23 years ago in this industry, And things have a little bit improvement, but not really. So I think like I would love to give a shout out to all female mothers, not creatives, making the creatives work.
Amen.
Amen. Yes.
Can I ask a final question for me? I'm just really curious. Like, I feel like you've spent a lot of years lately agency side,
Yeah.
and as you're moving client side, how are you feeling about it? Like, what are some of like hopes and dreams or expectations or fears even from kind of like shifting from one side to the other?
I don't think fear, because I know that my experience, the 20 years that I spent agency side, I have the skill set to deal with the corporate world, because before all my clients, they were corporate, right? I think it's more for me to learn the ways of working inside a corporate company. They are different from an agency. Agency for me, I wake up and it's there. I breathe that every single day. I know the flow. I know the stakeholders inside an agency. I know where things can get stuck. I know the names. I know global inside agency, big networks. So it would take a while for me to understand. I'm starting again, not starting again, but it's starting again. And this structure that I need to remember all the names as well. But I'm excited because at the same time, I think we have a great opportunity to bring suppliers, creative suppliers, to help us to shape these brands all over the world. And this is a decision that will be my decision, not only 100% my decision, but I will be part of the decision making. And that's the best part, because I understand how an agency works, the operations inside an agency. So it's much easier for me to work with an agency, because I was one, and to respect and to give the right brief and to give the right information. So I'm excited because I think the work will be able to do will be much better than they already do. And what they already do is amazing. So yeah,
Awesome.
will be
Awesome.
great.
It's very cool. It's a very cool transition. And I definitely think creatives will be, and agencies and partners will be better guided under your stewardship. So it's a gift. It's a gift to client relationships that you're going that way, I think.
Yes.
100%. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, Anela, this has been fantastic. I feel like we could just like keep talking forever
Well,
and ever.
yes. I want to join this every single week now to talk about the market. We can talk
Yes.
about trends next time.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us. What a good conversation.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. And yeah, I'm here, guys. Whenever you want, I'm up. I'm joining.
Amazing.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, thanks everybody for listening. Cheers.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.
Thanks for listening to Not Creative.
If you like this episode, follow us for more and spread the word.
You can find us on all the streaming platforms, Instagram, and YouTube at Not Creative Podcast.
Catch you next time.
I mean, that was pretty freaking good, man.